It's not enough to open a gym, spend a lot of money on equipment, and then just think, if I built it, they will come. That's not enough.
This year at PerformX, the Gym Owners Forum took their community on the road, and we actually hosted our very own networking community event right in the heart of the show. Now, the conversations that we were having on the day were with doctors, gym owners, industry experts, and suppliers, all with the ultimate goal of educating, supporting, and uplifting the industry. Now, over the weeks following PerformX, what we'll do so that you guys don't miss out is be sharing those conversations that we had with those people on the stage. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Rob, hello.
Tom, hello.
Welcome to the Gym Owners Forum stand at PerformX. Thank you so much for joining us today. I want to start off very, very broadly, and we'll drill down a little bit as we go through. But obviously, Progress Gym is your facility. I know there's a lot more to it as well. But I guess we'll start at that. You're a gym owner. What does it mean to be a gym owner?
It means so much to me. This industry is wonderful, and the potential for changing lives is incredible. On a daily basis, we see people coming into the gym, and they're walking like this, but they leave ironed out, more relieved, less stressed, reclaiming their identity. See this especially with the parents. People ask them all the time, how's the kids, and new parents especially. But at the gym, they are themselves. They're not an employee, a partner, a parent. They are themselves. So being a gym owner, I see this on a daily, hourly basis. It's wonderful. I thoroughly enjoy it. We change lives. I think probably at the extremes, gyms also save lives. It's an incredible industry to be part of. I love what I do, and it's so important that we raise the standard of what gyms in the UK, well, across the world, what we can influence is the UK.
Yeah.
Start with the UK, but it's so important that we raise the standard, the professionalisation of the gym industry, so we give them more respect from the government and our members.
I totally agree. I think it's part of the reason that I thought it'd be so good to have you on today is because actually it is that taking it seriously as a business, and actually the influence and the impact you have on people. I know you have a load of kind of anecdotes and stuff that you can dive into there. So in terms of day-to-day, I know we had Shannon on earlier who was speaking about like trying to step away from the business, but in terms of your day-to-day, what does serious gym ownership look like? What does that entail?
Sure, so it's dictating the direction of the business, it's looking after the team, it's recruitment, it's looking after the financial side of things, it's looking at the operations. It does mean covering the desk from time to time as well, which I think is healthy because it gives me an insight into what the team is dealing with, and it's good for the members to see me there. So it's multifaceted, and so you have to be prepared for that. You have to bring your game face every day, and see that the big picture is built up by the day-to-day impact, the day-to-day standards. So gym ownership is a many-headed beast, which we have to stay focused on the big picture, but we create the big picture, but with our smaller actions.
On the kind of the theme of taking gym ownership seriously, why is it that kind of from the outside people maybe don't take the gym industry and independent gym owners seriously?
I think there's a few things there. I think for a long time the industry's been looked at as very much an aesthetic. It's based around aesthetics, and aesthetics are important. But going to the gym regularly, the impact of the gym is so much more than just aesthetics. Aesthetics are a nice side impact, but I don't think it's really grasped how profoundly psychologically transformative regular exercise is via the gym. But let's go radical candor here. I think there's a lot of gyms which aren't taking it seriously either.
Yeah.
And so why should we have respect and appreciation from other bodies, the government or the public, if we're not showing it the right respect ourselves? It's not enough to open a gym, spend a lot of money on equipment, and then just think, if I built it, they will come. That's not enough.
Yeah.
There's got to be quality day-to-day interactions with people. Customers shouldn't be treated as customers, they should be treated as members. They should have their name used. If we're not, if the gym floor should be manned, receptions should be manned. There should be people there. This is a people business. I'm going unmanned. What does that tell you about the level of care and concern for the member if you're going unmanned? I think we have to take it seriously ourselves before other people will take us seriously. There's a lot of work to do.
It can be quite easy as an independent gym owner sometimes when you have a single facility to be painted with a brush that's kind of like you're the same as a pure gym or you're the same as any budget gym. And I think for a lot of those reasons you just said then, in the sense of people don't care enough about the smaller kind of minor details. Let's say hypothetically, I want to kind of put myself out of that bracket now and really drive forward. How do I kind of quantify my offering, decide my price point? Where do I kind of look at my facility and say this is what needs work, or this is what I'm not doing good enough? Where do you start with that?
Sure. I think before anybody even opens a gym, they should visit a number of facilities.
Yeah.
Steal the best ideas. Put your own colour to it, put your own flavour to it. Look at what other people are doing, what they do well, borrow from that. Look at what they're not doing well, avoid that. So get savvy first by experiencing a number of other facilities. That's a really cheap way to ensure you don't make the same mistakes as other people. We must also be happy hearing our baby's ugly. We must be happy receiving feedback. We must be happy a suggestion box on the gym floor, team on the desk who people will speak to. It's really important to have that not you on the desk where people can come up and say, this is looking a bit shabby, or about doing this. We must be happy and encouraging feedback and receiving feedback. Once the gym's open, I still think it's a great idea to visit other facilities and see what they're doing well. It's a very, very low cost way to experience other kit before you invest 5, 10, whatever £1,000 into a new piece of kit. And also looking at other industries outside of fitness and seeing what they do well and how that can be related to the gym industry. So there's so much to do. Look across our own industry, look at other industries, listen to your members, and also who wants to be a millionaire? When they ask the audience, they normally have the right answer, even if it's just 60%. So speak to your team. Let the people that work for you know that they'll be heard, and listen and ask regularly for their opinion.
When we've spoken previously, you said it's always key to look at what, in the same way that you go visit the gyms, you said always try and do what gym owners are not doing. How do you kind of look for that? What do you look for when you're saying, like, what are they not doing? Do you kind of look for the issues? What specifically are you looking for?
My mind's 25/8 on gym ownership. I spend a lot of time. I dream about improvements we can make. So I am invested. So I do have a lot of time I put into thinking about these things, reading podcasts. But when I go to another gym and I see some really nice equipment and the upholstery's rough or the rods haven't been greased, that's what not to do.
Yeah.
When I go to other facilities and maybe the desk is unmanned and the members are walking around and the culture is appalling, there's blue roll on the floor, there's dumbbells left out, there's machines left loaded. Nobody signs up for a gym thinking, I want to go to a gym that's a mess. I want to go to a gym where I've got to unload other people's equipment. So some things are quite obvious, what not to do, what the other gyms do. So, but yeah, the initial premise came from Clive Woodward and his book Winning. What do the other rugby teams do? What don't they do? And that's where the idea came from.
Okay, that makes sense. I think saying that they're just quite apparent, I guess you go in and go, well, that's crap. So
then don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah.
That makes sense.
How can we do the extreme opposite of that? How can we impress people? How can we not just meet our members' expectations? How can we exceed their expectations so that their experience is memorable? And they want to come back to our facility over all the other options, because most towns now have multiple gym offerings. How do you keep people at your facility? Well, you've got to do what the other gyms don't do.
I think so. A conversation we had previously, again, sales is the transfer of enthusiasm. And when you're trying to onboard new members, it's about actually not only having the belief that you have the best gym, but also kind of putting that belief in, because that's what keeps the members on for longer. How do you, when you're first onboarding a member, when you're first introducing a member to your gym, how do you transfer that enthusiasm onto your members about your own facility?
Okay. So it starts the minute if it's an Instagram follow, we're sending a DM and thanking them for the follow and exercising currently. If it's in person, the moment somebody pushes our front door open, we will walk out from behind the counter, remove that physical barrier, and we'll greet them. A human will greet them with a smile and a hello, and how can we help you? So because not everybody walking into a gym is confident or gym savvy. Maybe somebody's not done any exercise for 40 years since they last did PE. It could have been a long time. People can be incredibly nervous when they come to the facility. So we want to put them at ease. We're going to give them what we call a walk and talk. We're going to show them around the facility, being mindful of what they want to achieve and focusing on those areas to show them that we have the facility, the equipment to achieve that. Once somebody's signed up, they're given a welcome session, not an induction, a welcome session with a qualified personal trainer to give them the best chance of achieving their goals. Because it's in our best interest that this person reaches their goals. Because one, it's why I opened a gym, to see people thrive through exercise, but also because if they reach their goals, they're not leaving. Unless they're relocating, they're not leaving. People who reach their goals keep exercising. They'll find the money, they'll find the time to keep coming. So we give them a welcome session when they start. That gets them introduced to a personal trainer. There's somebody on the desk the whole time we're open, from open till close. So there's somebody there friendly who can show them how to set machines up, can check their technique. And we're making the experience, and we are huge on remembering names as well.
Yeah.
They are. We don't call our customers. They're members, and we remember them. We use their names.
Remember.
Remember.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Funny, very funny. Is there such a thing as overbearing friendliness, I guess, when it comes into, or like almost over inducting the member in a sense? So they come in and you're like, hello, how are you? And some people maybe do just want to sign up and go into the gym. How do you kind of gauge that? And maybe
sure. So we the front of house team, our apprentices and those in the front of house are emotionally intelligent, and they can gauge where somebody is on the spectrum of wanting attention and wanting to interact. And some people will want to stand and have a pre-workout and chat for 10 minutes, and some people will want to keep their headphones in and scan in. And we don't try and force either of those into the opposite behavior. We are savvy, and we know people's behavior, and we respond to that. Now, some people just need to thaw out a little bit. Some of the members, they're a little bit, their guard is up maybe when they start, they don't know us so well. But as they see us walking around the gym floor, tidying and maintaining the environment and regularly improving the equipment and using their name when they come in, then a lot of people will move along that spectrum and interact more and more. We've got to build their confidence with interaction.
I think something I really like that you said you do in the gym is the alarm on the front desk every 15 minutes?
Every 30 minutes,
Every 30 minutes.
Quarter past and quarter to, yeah.
Yeah, and dive into a little bit about that and what the effect is. I guess it is moving people along that spectrum of comfort. Tell us a little bit about how that came about and what the effect of that is.
So, yes, every 30 minutes, the team on the front of house are tasked with completing a floor walk to show our members that we're available. Some people won't come to the front desk to ask a question, but if you're walking past them, they might say, do you have a moment? Can you show me how to use this? I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. Well, we're present for that. We have wipes on the gym floor, they need replacing. We have blue roll on the gym floor that needs replacing. Occasionally, typically if it's a guest, equipment may be left out, plates left out. We want to put those away because every time somebody gets to a piece of equipment, it should be in a reset default position, because we've heard from other people that that's one of the reasons why they've come to us. It's a frustration at other gyms. They've had to unload the leg press. The bench press is left with plates on. We don't want that. We want to remove those stones and shoes that cause people the frustration that they've actually left another facility and looked for another one. So we're showing our members that they're important. We're present on the gym floor for hygiene and janitorial standards and tidiness, but also to interact. It gives the people that are working the front desk the opportunity to gain those gym floor skills, how to spot, how to correct, how to praise somebody. Sometimes, for example, young men may not be comfortable praising another young man. But it's important that we do. We should not be. We should be comfortable praising whatever gender, at whatever age, and it's a skill that they need to build. Because if they're going to become personal trainers, which a lot of our front of house team are, they need to have those skills of interacting.
Yeah, that's very true.
And sorry, that was one of the classic things that we heard from people that join our gym, is that the staff in other gyms it's either unmanned or the staff aren't available. They're sat chatting behind reception, or they're sat in staff rooms. Well, that's not an optimal use of what you're paying people to do. And so, yeah, our standards reflect that.
The conversing with members, because it's always like, how do we find out the member experience is X, Y, Z?
Yeah.
And it is just, as you say, by talking to people. And
Sure.
actually, as you say, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire example is a great example of that. Are there any other ways in which you can gauge your member experience and try and improve your member experience? I mean, there's kind of the basics, as you say, like cleanliness, and I wouldn't even say they're like but they're requirements. They're just standards that you should have, I think. Is there any other ways in terms of, other than just speaking with the members, of how you gauge your member experience, your member journey? Like, how do you put yourself in their shoes to kind of see where you can improve and tweak?
As I mentioned, we have a suggestions box on the gym floor, where people can put their name on, or anonymously put down suggestions, things that we can improve. A lot of our members are, because the nature of the industry, we see people 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes they train twice a day, so it could be 7+ times a week. So the team on the front of house, they get to know people and they develop friendships. They might go and train at other gyms with them time to time. So they're receptive. They're known to the members, and members will speak to them directly. We also employ Paula. She's our retention lady. The members have her ear, so they can speak to her.
She also has ears.
But she also has ears, yeah, thankfully. And she uses them. And so we receive feedback via Paula. Our personal trainers are heavily invested in the facility. A lot of them have come through the apprenticeship scheme, so they've been on board for maybe 10 years plus, 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so they will hear from their clients if the clients believe we can do something better. So there's many ways to reach out. Our business cards with my email address, my manager's email address, Paula's email address, they're all in reception, so people can take those as well.
It sounds like a lot of work, and it sounds like it requires a lot of time, which it does. I think that's probably fair to say. It's no surprise. How do you kind of automate? I guess the question is, do you try and automate as much of that as possible? I get the human touch is always required in some steps, but where do you try and kind of save time in those areas? Can you save time in those areas?
So we have a series of automations running through the Ashbourne CRM system. When people come on board, if it's just visiting, we'll send them a thank you email.
Yeah.
And if you wouldn't mind, would you leave us a review on Google or Trustpilot? And there's a series of emails that go out to people when they join on various memberships. That's tailored as well. Aside from that, we do lean heavily on the human side. We're a higher price point, so we want to offer a more interactive, more valuable service. So I'm not against technology. We use it in places, but because we're manned from opening to closing, those people on the front of house, they really are a focal point for interacting with members.
I think there's an element of like, to some people, a quick 5-minute conversation can seem like a really like high stress, tough task. Whereas to someone like us, it's probably, I mean, I've sat on a stage now talking to you for more than 5 minutes. So yeah, I think for some people they find out, I know that you said you hire a lot of staff from within the gym. They were previously members, which is great because they kind of understand the ethos. How do you kind of train that confidence into people that maybe don't necessarily have it, and also maybe touch on the kind of member aspect of it as well?
So we're quite particular when hiring. From what I know of other facilities, sometimes they what I call fire hire. It's a last minute.
Yeah.
We need a warm body, preferably. The standards for hiring aren't wonderful. We will give somebody a 2-week pass. If they're not a member, we'll give them a 2-week pass to the gym so we can see how they behave in the gym. Do they have the personal, do they have the capability to interact with people? Are they personable? Do they speak when they come in? Do they put their kit away? We want to see all those things in somebody first before we even get to an interview. So that's a great first tripwire. And then we have shadowing when people start with us. They're listening and learning from the current team that are successful and are experienced. There's a series of off-the-job learning that they have to complete as well in their own at home. So there's lots of reading and learning they have to do as well. And they're monitored regularly. Our management spend at least an hour a week on the desk with each team member, making sure that they're saying and doing the right things. Because we want them to be successful on the desk, because there's many, many carryovers into the next role for them, which is probably going to be personal training.
Community is obviously a buzzword, and just on that as well, it takes 3 times the amount to hire and train someone new than to hire within the business. And I guess your members are actually the kind of entry-level executives in your business. So I think they kind of do make a lot of sense, and they're already bought into that community and that ethos, which is, probably half the battle, as you say, and then that training element really builds on top of it. You seem very purposeful about the way that you go about community and the way you put community within the gym. How do you build that sense of community within the gym? Because obviously the staff are a part of that, but it's a chicken and egg situation in the sense of how do you even go before that and foster that community within the gym? I know there's the staff alarms and stuff.
It really does begin with how you greet people the first time you meet them. If you're warm and welcoming and you can listen and understand what people want, then guards will drop and people will understand this is a good place to be. We're going to get looked after here. We're going to continue to, like you said, walk the floor. We're going to be a presence. We're going to thank them when they leave, ask them when they're in next. We're also going to put on events. So we have a steak and stroll, a ramble and roast events where we meet up with the members out in the community to do some steps in the beautiful Somerset countryside, get some food, get to know them better. We do members motorcycle ride outs. We have charity events with the members where we do certain walks. We have celebrations of their 5-year anniversary, 10-year anniversary, 15-year anniversary now as members as well. So we're building community regularly. We have member of the month, member of the year. We do good luck posts when people are competing at events. It's seeing people, acknowledging people, giving them opportunities to interact, to be a true third space with people where they can, you've got home, you've got work, and then you've got the other places where people choose to be. And they're choosing to be in they're choosing to exercise, and out of all the options to exercise, they're choosing our gym.
Yeah.
We are fortunate. We are so fortunate. Because they could be doing nothing, or they could be training somewhere else. And they've chosen to train. They've put their hand up and said, I want to be fit, I want to be healthy, I want more energy, I want to move better. And they've chosen our space to do that. So we should acknowledge that and come to the party.
The ramble and roast and steak and stroll, I mean, personally, I just like roasts and steaks. So, I mean, it appeals to me. But how do you initially kind of find those ideas? Is it something that you just come up with yourself, or is it just, I know events are just a good idea in general. Is that something that you came up with yourself, or were you kind of looking around and saw that somewhere?
Sure. One of our members owns a pub, and it's in the countryside, maybe three miles away from the gym. And I went to eat there, and I thought this would be a good venue to work alongside. It takes them some custom, brings them some business. It's a place I feel I can trust. Like I said, Martin is a member, the owner of the pub. And one day, whilst we were at the pub, we went for a walk, and I thought this is something we could pull together and would benefit the members. Off the phones, face to face, meeting people, interacting, building connections, eating some nice food. And again, it's probably one of the things and a lot of other gyms aren't doing. So back to Clive Woodward, what are the other gyms doing? What aren't the other gyms doing?
Yeah.
They're probably not doing Ramble and Roast.
It's funny because the events, to some people, I think when you're getting a small attendance at the start, it can kind of seem like a bit of a waste of time, perhaps. How do you kind of deal with that, the small attendances at the start? How do you kind of push those out onto your members in that sense? Do you basically just not worry about it at all, or what?
You know, if it's one person and they've enjoyed it, it's worth doing. It really is. Because you don't know how profound an impact that could have on that person, and every member is important. So if it's one person, that's enough for us. It's never been one person, it's always been multiple people. But Paula is very proactive in encouraging people to attend the events. We put out stories and posts. We have posters around the gym by the water fountain in reception, so people can see the events when they're upcoming. We put social media posts out afterwards. Look at what you missed if you didn't attend. And we know some people are going to look at it maybe half a dozen times before they come along. That's human nature. Some people need to warm up to the idea.
They say it takes 12 touch points to make a sale before you do it. So I guess you've actually hit the number on the head,
Sure.
Which is good. So obviously the events are a great aspect and a great way to drive new business and build that community. Sorry.
Absolutely, because members bring their partners along, and then their partners see these people aren't that weird. You know, I could spend an hour, maybe 3-4 days a week with these people. This is the kind of people I'd be happy to be around. So it removes the barrier to sale. So we've had people join because they've come along to Ramble and Roast.
On the complete flip side of that, I guess, member disengagement. How do you spot that someone's starting to become disengaged with the gym? How do you deal with that?
So the front of house team are that good and that engaged that they will, because they work typically a fairly settled rota, they'll notice if people haven't been in. So there's the informal side of things. We are relying on humans there. From the automated side, we run the inactive reports through the Ashbourne software, and Paula is tasked with reaching out to people at 21, 35 and 49 days, so 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 7 weeks, to see if they've been on holiday, to see if they've been ill, to see if they've been moving house or some other life event. And also then we put some solutions in place. What do we need to get you back here? We really want to see you back on site and moving forward, making progress. And sometimes just reaching out pops that balloon or that bubble, sorry, and we've seen them back in the gym. Thank you. I've been meaning to come back, and your message means that I'll be in later on or tomorrow. Maybe we need to point them in direction of some group exercise where they can get some interaction, some coaching, some accountability. Maybe we'll arrange a complimentary personal training session for them where we'll pay the personal trainer to carry out the session for them. So they've got something, maybe they've not been seeing the results they want. And so maybe that hour with a fitness professional will give them the advice on macros or program split to get them back on track.
In essence, it's just like putting the effort in and actually just making the effort. Cool.
And sorry, we had somebody come to work for me that had worked at a chain gym. And the day we started, I explained to her our process for reaching out to our deconditioned members, and she couldn't compute the fact that we contacted people that were still paying but not coming. I said I didn't open a gym and call it progress for people to be paying and not coming. I said I want those people back in the building. I don't want them paying and not coming because they'll end up resenting it. Yeah. And the longer they stay away, the harder, the more it seizes the mindset. We need to get that moving again and get them back on site.
The belief that you have, that we all have, I guess, that it's the impact that it has on that person's life, and it really does change their life. It is like, it's nice to see, and I guess it's what we're all about. So yeah,
this is the National Health Service. We are the National Health Service. National Health Service, the National Sickness Service. We are preventative. We're reducing the strain on the NHS. This is so important. We have to do this right. We have to look after people. We have to show them how to get results. We can't do that if we're unmanned. We can't do that if we're just sitting in the staff room. We've got to interact. We've got to get people results. We've got to keep them coming back.
The getting the feedback, obviously, is very useful. Then someone maybe comes back and instead of saying I've moved house, they for use of your term, call your baby ugly. How do you deal with that? How do you not take that personally? How do you then kind of feed that back into the gym itself?
Well, I think it's okay for me to take it personally because I've personally put a lot into the facility, a lot of thought, a lot of money into the facility, and a lot of time and effort and work. I maybe need to work on not letting that show a little bit. But I need to sit with it. I need to let them know that they've been heard. I need to let them know that I'm going to not respond emotionally, even if I'm thinking emotionally. I'm going to mask that a little bit, maybe put a little pause in there, and then I'm going to give them some feedback in the idea. And you know what? Maybe it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
I've only got my eyes. I've only got my 24 hours a day. I've only got my perspective. I've never been a member of my own gym. I've been a member of other gyms, but I've never been a member of Progress Gym. So often there is a lot of value in what people say. Now, if somebody comes to me and says, you need to have a swimming pool, it's not going to happen. We're not that kind of facility. There are other facilities that can offer that. That's unrealistic. But if there's any validity or potential in what they're saying, we'll look at that. And it may be not what they're saying, but it may be something else as an offshoot of that, which is possible, which will scratch that itch for them. It isn't exactly what they're asking for. Or suggesting, but we can do something similar. So we're absolutely receptive.
Can you think of any feedback off the top of your head that has actually you've implemented in the gym right away?
Yeah, sure. So last year we had the suggestion that we open earlier on the weekends.
Yeah. And
so we've shifted our opening times from 8 till 8 till 7 till 7. And the footfall between 7 and 8 in the morning is good. And we also did that because the footfall between 7 and 8 p.m. wasn't great. So we haven't lost anybody, but the footfall has increased now because we're open on the weekends. Parents can come in and train before their kids get up. People who like to train early mornings, it was a 2-hour difference between the weekday and the weekends. Now it's only an hour.
Yeah.
So they can still get in early and train. Yeah, so opening times feedback, yeah.
No, nice. I think, yeah, it's a good example. So looking forward now to the future of the industry, your national sickness service line makes me chuckle every time, but what does the future of the independent gym look like? How should independent gyms, the owners, look at how they operate now and kind of adapt how they are to suit that future?
I think we need to look at why people have come into this industry, and we need passionate, invested professionals at the forefront driving the standards forward. The fact that you can open a gym without a first aid qualification frustrates me, angers me. That is such a low baseline. The fact that you can have people coaching in a gym without a personal training qualification. Personal training qualifications aren't everything, but that anybody can maybe being allowed to coach in some facilities without insurance, without qualifications. That's not right. We've got to look at ourselves and we've got to raise the bar. We've got to expect more and deliver more. It's not enough just to take a lease out on a unit, fill it with equipment, cross fingers, and expect people to come along. People are trusting us with their physical and mental health. There is nothing more important. You could argue maybe their children are more important. Or good luck looking after your children without your physical and mental health.
Yes.
Physical and mental health are vital, and that's what they're bringing to us. We should respect that and give them a service which they deserve.
Because I mean, they say the cream rises to the top, and from a business standpoint, that's true, and like personally, that benefits yourself. But I think it is that kind of wider question of there's still that muck at the bottom, for a better use of an analogy, and that is probably quite damaging to society.
Sure. I'd like to see the industry bring in, not quite Ofsted, but something where a set of standards. You must have a defibrillator on site. People are exerting themselves, seriously exerting themselves. You should have a defibrillator on site. Every gym should have a defibrillator. Your staff team should be first aid qualified. If people are coaching, they should have insurance. There should be a maintenance schedule in place. There should be a hygiene rota schedule in place. All these things are signs that we're taking ourselves more seriously, more professionally, and then we'll be able to go to government and say these things are in place. We need to look at VAT on gym memberships. Why we charge VAT on gym memberships?
Yeah.
Why and argue effectively to maybe look at business rates and the other areas which are incredibly challenging as a business.
Have we mentioned the Fair Rates for Fitness campaign that we're doing at the moment?
I saw it on the flyer whilst I was sat watching an earlier.
So I mean, we haven't paid you to say this, but yeah, it's so true. I think actually it's your National Health Service. We are that third space that's actually like really benefiting people's lives, making people live longer, healthier lives.
And it ripples out to the people that they come into contact with. It's not just the member, it's the people they come into contact with. They're a more level-headed, less stressed, more relaxed person.
So finally, I just want to touch on something you said was really interesting. The gym industry is a very recent industry. It's only in the last kind of 60 years. So you look at how far it's come.
Yeah.
I mean, first question is, has it come that far? And then I guess my final question would be, what are the kind of key takeaways for gym owners to take now from looking at the past to now take into the future?
So when I visit some facilities, it doesn't feel that they have come that far. And other facilities are wonderful. There's a real, and I think that's probably true of all businesses, restaurants and retail outlets and pubs and things like that. We've got to keep pushing forward. I think, like you said, we need to bring that bottom.
Don't use the word mark.
We've got to raise the bar. We've got to raise the bar so that we get the respect that the industry deserves.
I think so. I think it's an industry that really has the opportunity to change the society, and it is, as you say, raising that bar. So, Rob, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for the
It's been a
invite.
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
That is all for this episode of the PerformX edition of the Gym Owners Forum podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I thoroughly enjoyed all of the conversations that I had from the 2 days of the show. Would highly recommend anyone to check out PerformX next year and just other industry events in the UK. If you enjoyed the episode and you want more like it, head to YouTube or anywhere you can get podcasts and look for the Gym Owners Forum podcast. If you want some more quick fire and actionable tips, head to our socials where we're posting regularly about insights and just general tools and things we find from the industry right there directly to you. And if you just want to get in touch, reach out to us, DM us, email us, go to our website, reach out, and we're always happy to have a chat and a conversation on how we can help. With that said, see you on the next episode.